The gym was unusually quiet. The air was thick with excitement as the gym teacher, Mr. Clark, stood at the front, holding a whistle with a smile. He turned to face the class and raised his hand, signaling that it was time to begin. Ryan stood in the middle of the gymnasium, gripping his water bottle tightly. His heart was pounding. He had just overheard the teacher telling the class about a special obstacle course challenge, a competition to see who could finish the fastest and with the most points. The winner will earn a golden medal in front of the whole school. But there was a catch. Ryan wasn't the most athletic kid in class. He had always struggled with physical activities, preferring to solve puzzles and mysteries over running or jumping. He wasn't sure if he could handle it, and the pressure was getting to him. Zara and Jayden, Ryan's best friends, stood next to him, eagerly awaiting the signal. Zara was bouncing on her toes, ready for action, and Jayden was practicing his jumps with enthusiasm. Ryan's stomach turned. He had a fear of failure, the idea of being the last one to finish, or worse, failing in front of his friends, terrified him. His palms were sweaty, and he could feel his legs tremble. Mr. Clark blew the whistle. All right, class, the big gym challenge begins in three, two, one. The gym was suddenly filled with energy as everyone rushed to the starting line. Ryan hesitated for a moment and then, with a deep breath, he pushed himself forward, trying to keep up with the others. But as he faced the first obstacle, a giant rope swing, his heart sank. He had always been too scared to climb ropes. The thought of swinging from the high rope made his hands shake. What if I fall? But then Sarah cheered. Come on, Ryan, you've got this. Ryan's eyes widened, and a wave of determination surged through him. He could see the other kids flying through the course, but the fear of failure was holding him back. He reached up to grab the rope, his hands slipping slightly. The crowd cheered, but the pressure felt even heavier. At this point, Ryan faces a choice. Should he attempt to swing and face his fear or skip the rope and go for the next challenge? Hi, lovely fans of the adventures of Little Ryan. What do you think? At this point, Ryan faces a choice. Should he attempt to swing and face his fear or skip the rope and go for the next challenge? If you think Ryan should swing, click the like button. If you think he should skip the rope and keep going, leave a comment below. Okay, let's get back to the story. So, Ryan chooses to swing across the rope this time. Instead of focusing on the fear of falling, he thought about the people who believed in him. Zara's cheer, Jayden's encouragement, and his family back home, who always told him, You are brave, Ryan. You can do anything if you try. He grabbed the rope with confidence and swung across with a big smile on his face. He might not have been the fastest, but he was determined to finish the course no matter what. As Ryan neared the balance beam, he saw a shadowy figure in the distance. Jordan, the class bully, was already ahead and laughing. Jordan had always been the fastest in the class and never let Ryan forget it. Ryan could hear him chanting from the other side of the gym. Come on, Ryan, you're going to be the last one. Just give up already. The words stung, and Ryan almost felt like giving up. But just then, Jayden and Zara came to his side, cheering him on. Jayden said, Don't listen to him, Ryan. You can do it. Zara said, You've already come this far. Finish strong. Ryan took a deep breath, his hands shaking, and stepped onto the balance beam. It was wobbly. He was scared. But then he thought about everything he had learned. Don't give up, try your best, and it's okay to stumble. With that in mind, Ryan took a deep breath and found his balance, slowly but steadily making his way across. With one final push, Ryan reached the last obstacle, the climbing wall. His legs felt like jelly, but he couldn't stop now. His heart raced as he grabbed the first rock and started climbing. The gym erupted in cheers. Ryan reached the top, exhausted but triumphant, and saw Zara and Jayden cheering for him below. He had made it. Ryan's friends rushed over to him, giving him high fives and pats on the back. You did it, Ryan. You are a champion, Zara exclaimed. Ryan smiled, his heart swelling with pride. He hadn't won the golden medal, but in his heart he knew he had won something more important, self belief. As Mr. Clark handed out the medals, he said, Ryan, you might not have finished first, but you showed true courage today. That's what matters most. Ryan beamed, realizing that trying and persevering was more important than being the fastest or the best. He had conquered his fear, and that was his victory. The gym lights dimmed as the final bell rang, signaling the end of the challenge. Ryan looked at his friends, knowing this was only the beginning of his adventures. Next time I'll be even better, Ryan thought, his face filled with determination. Hi there. Thank you for watching so far. Now, let's move to the next chapter. Little Ryan's mystery at the school gym. The missing medal. It was a crisp Monday morning, and the school gym was buzzing with excitement. Today wasn't just another regular gym class. Today was the day for the award ceremony, where the golden medal from last week's Big Gym Challenge would be presented to the winner in front of the entire school. Ryan couldn't help but replay the events of last week in his head. Although he didn't win, he had been proud of himself for overcoming his fears, but the excitement of winning the golden medal still lingered. It was something he wished he could have achieved, and today he was secretly hoping to see the medal shining on display. But when he walked into the gym this morning, he immediately felt that something wasn't right. The golden medal was missing. Mr. Clark, the gym teacher, walked to the front of the gym, his face unusually serious. He looked at the students gathered, all murmuring, wondering where the medal had gone. All right, everyone, Mr. Clark said, his voice calm but tinged with concern. The golden medal from last week's challenge. It's gone missing. We have no idea who took it. Cold chill ran down Ryan's spine. Who will take the medal? Sarah leaned over and whispered, Do you think someone accidentally took it home? Jayden looked at Ryan with suspicion. This doesn't feel right, Ryan. Carter was acting strange after the challenge last week. Do you think he had something to do with it? Ryan's eyes widened. Carter, the school's notorious troublemaker, had been acting suspiciously ever since the gym challenge. He had been lingering around the gym during the medal ceremony, but had never taken part in the actual competition. Instead, he had been a bystander, whispering to other students and acting unusually. It's possible, Jayden, Ryan replied, his thoughts racing. Carter didn't complete this last week. What if he was jealous of Jordan's win? Just as Ryan was about to speak, Carter walked in, grinning widely. He had his hands behind his back, a mischievous look on his face. The moment he entered, the tension in the gym rose immediately. Hey everyone, Carter said, as he casually strolled to the center of the gym, his brain widening. I have something that might help us solve the mystery here. He pulled out a shiny gold medal from behind his back. The room went dead silent. The medal shimmered in the bright gym lights. It was unmistakably the golden medal from the gym challenge, and the students exchanged confused and shocked looks. I found this in the locker room, Carter said, holding it up. It must have been left behind, and I thought I'd return it. But I guess the real question is, who dropped it? Wyatt immediately felt a rush of doubt. Carter hadn't been a part of the challenge. Jordan won, and Ryan himself hadn't even finished in the top spots. There was something about Carter's timing that didn't add up. Carter, how did you find the medal in the locker room? It wasn't there earlier, Ryan said, his voice steady but filled with suspicion. Carter's grin faltered for a split second. What are you talking about? I was just trying to help. I found it lying around and figured someone forgot it. But Ryan wasn't buying it. Carter was always up to something, and the idea of him simply finding the medal didn't sit right. Ryan turned to his friends, Zara and Jayden. This doesn't make sense. Carter could have easily taken the medal when no one was watching. We need to find out what really happened. The trio decided to investigate the locker room, where they had last seen Carter hanging around. After class, they quietly snuck to the locker area to find more clues. As they approached, Ryan noticed that one of Carter's lockers was slightly ajar. He carefully opened the door and gasped. Inside, there was a hidden stash of medals, all golden, with the school's emblem on them. Ryan's eyes widened. He pulled out one of the medals, his heart racing. This was not just one medal, but a collection of stolen awards. At the bottom of the locker, there was also a torn piece of paper with a name scrawled on it. Carter. Ryan's suspicion had been right. Carter was just not hiding the golden medal, but had been stealing them all along. Ryan, Zara, and Jayden exchanged glances. We need to confront him, Ryan said. Now, he approached Carter just as he was walking down the hall, looking calm but avoiding eye contact with Ryan. Carter, we know what you've been doing, Ryan said, stepping up to him. You've been stealing the medals. We found them in your locker. Carter's face went pale. He knew the jig was up. His shoulders slumped and he finally let out a deep sigh. I didn't mean to take them. I just wanted to feel special. After last week, when I didn't win anything, I wanted to prove that I was just as good as everyone else. Ryan's heart softened. Carter, you don't have to steal to feel special. We all have something great about us. You just have to believe in yourself. Mr. Clark walked into the hallway at that moment, having heard the conversation. He nodded to Ryan, signaling that he had handled the situation well. Carter, Mr. Clark began, his voice firm but understanding. Stealing doesn't solve the problem, but it's never too late to do the right thing. Carter looked at the ground in shame. He took the medals from Ryan and handed them back to Mr. Clark. I'm sorry, Ryan. I never meant to hurt anyone. I just wanted to prove that I mattered, Carter said, his voice small. You matter, Carter, Ryan said with a reassuring smile. We all do, but stealing doesn't make us better. Doing the right thing does. Mr. Clark then turned to the class. As for the golden medal, we'll make sure it's presented the right way this time. And Carter, we are proud of you for coming clean. As Carter walked out of the gym, head held a little higher, Ryan smiled. He had solved another mystery, but more importantly, he had helped someone who needed it. Ryan knew this was just the beginning of his adventures, not just in solving mysteries, but in teaching and learning important life lessons. Next time, I'll win because I believe in myself, Ryan thought, a sense of confidence washing over him. He turned to his friends and they all high fived. proud of how they handled the situation together. Hi guys, welcome back to the next chapter. This one is called The Maplewood versus Summit Valley Showdown. Unity is the key. Let's get into it. The sun was just beginning to set, casting an orange glow over the school's track. Track and field day was only days away, and the entire school was buzzing with excitement. But Ryan felt different. This year's competition wasn't just any regular race. It was a showdown against Summit Valley Academy, a school with a reputation for winning national competitions. The pressure was on, and Maplewood Elementary was eager to show what they were made of. Ryan had signed up for the relay race, a chance to prove that even though he wasn't the fastest runner, he could still be part of something bigger than himself. But the real battle wasn't just against Summit Valley. The real fight was happening within Maplewood itself. As practices went on, disagreements and fights over who would compete in which events escalated. Ryan felt a heavy weight on his shoulders. His friends, Zara and Jayden, seemed to be on edge. Jordan, who was considered the fastest in school, kept wanting to call the shots, but Ryan, along with others, felt it wasn't fair. Everyone had their own talents, but no one was listening to each other. The practices were chaotic. As mentioned, Jordan, as the fastest, naturally wanted to set the rules, but every time he did, there was backlash. Carter, for example, seemed to be in a constant state of disruption, never showing any interest in participating but always finding a way to stir up trouble. He'd tease others, make sarcastic comments, and pick fights even when it wasn't necessary. Zara and Jayden were frustrated with the constant bickering, and on more than one occasion, a few students left the practice crying. By the time the event was just around the corner, the team seemed more divided than united. The tension was palpable. On the field, it was clear that the athletes of Summit Valley Academy were confident and ready to win. They had a perfect record in national competitions, and they weren't going to take this challenge lightly. Maplewood students were starting to feel discouraged. Ryan, who had never been particularly athletic, felt like he didn't belong in the chaos. He felt like he had a lot to contribute, but he didn't know how. The pressure of getting everything right weighed on him. On school's big day, Summit Valley Academy arrived at Maplewood Elementary, and from the moment they stepped onto the field, it was clear they were competitive, confident, and cocky. The Maplewood students immediately felt the weight of their reputation. The Summit Valley athletes laughed among themselves, mocking Maplewood for all the recent gossip they'd heard. I heard Maplewood can't agree on anything. They are always fighting amongst themselves. Ryan's stomach turned. How did Summit Valley know this? But it didn't take long to figure out. Jordan's younger brother went to Summit Valley and had told them about the constant fighting within Maplewood's team. It was frustrating, especially because it was clear they had no idea what Maplewood was really capable of when they worked together. Jordan didn't say anything. He knew what was going on. He realized now that his actions had contributed to the division. Carter was still sulking in the background, throwing sarcastic remarks. Zara and Jayden were frustrated, and Ryan, feeling the pressure of the day, could barely focus on the competition ahead. The event started, and it was obvious from the get-go that Summit Valley was taking the lead. Ryan's relay team was struggling to stay competitive. Jordan was running well in the sprints, but the team dynamics were off. Carter wasn't contributing anything, while Zara and Jayden tried their best to pick up the slack. At the end of the first few races, the Summit Valley team had a clear lead. It was becoming more and more apparent that they weren't just physically faster, they were mentally stronger and they had the unity that Maplewood was lacking. As the day progressed, it seemed like Maplewood was falling behind more and more. But then, during the second to last race, their coach, Mr. Clark, called them all together. Listen up, everyone, Mr. Clark said sternly, as the students gathered in a circle. This isn't about individual talent anymore. It's not about who's the fastest, who's the strongest, or who can throw the farthest. It's about working together as a team and making Maplewood proud. And I expect better from all of you. Ryan could see the guilt in Jordan's eyes, who had spent so much time trying to control the team. Carter, whose behavior had been disruptive throughout the competition, had his head down, looking almost ashamed of his actions. We are all part of this team. It doesn't matter who wins the medal. It matters how we treat each other and how we come together in the face of competition. For the first time that day, Carter spoke up. His voice was quieter than usual, and there was a noticeable shift in his demeanor. I'm sorry, everyone. I've been a jerk. I wasn't thinking about the team. I was just angry that I wasn't as fast as Jordan and the others. Carter's eyes were red, and for the first time, he seemed vulnerable. But there was more to Carter's story. He hadn't just been acting out because he wanted to win. Ryan remembered hearing Carter's conversation with his older brother a few weeks ago, and he finally pieced it together. Carter's family had always expected him to be the best, and when he wasn't, he felt inferior to his older brother. That pressure had built up over time, causing Carter to lash out. Me too, Jordan added, looking down at the ground. I've been trying to control everything, and I made everyone feel left out. I'm sorry. Ryan, Zara, and Jayden exchanged glances. This was it. They had to unite if they wanted any chance of winning. With the second to last event underway, Maplewood pulled together for the first time. Their relay team ran with precision and teamwork, something they hadn't done all day. The race was intense, with both teams neck and neck, but Maplewood finished strong. They had done it, no mistakes. The crowd erupted in cheers. Even the Summit Valley athletes looked surprised. Maplewood had finally found its rhythm, but there was still one final race, the climactic showdown, the events that would determine everything. The 100-meter sprint between Jordan from Maplewood and Kylie from Summit Valley. The entire crowd held their breath. Jordan was fast, and everyone knew it. But this time, Ryan wasn't just watching from the sidelines. The final leg of the relay depended on him. He had to pass the baton to Jordan, who was depending on him to get it right. The tension was at its peak as the schools lined up. Ryan stood at the edge of the track, holding the baton. His heart racing. He had spent so much time doubting himself, but now he had to give it his all. The race began with a burst of energy from both teams. Jordan was already in the lead, but Kylie from Summit Valley was closing the gap. Ryan's moment had come with every ounce of strength. Ryan sprinted toward Jordan. Ryan passed the baton with such precision and speed that the entire crowd gasped. The exchange was perfect, seamless. Jordan took off like a rocket. His eyes locked on the finish line. The other team didn't see it coming. Ryan's focused speed and the perfect pass had given Jordan the edge he needed. As Jordan crossed the finish line, the crowd went wild. Maplewood won against all odds. The Maplewood students rushed to Jordan, lifting him up in the air as the coach clapped with pride. Ryan, Jordan, Carter, and everyone else on the team hugged, celebrating not just the victory, but their unity. Mr. Clark smiled. This is what teamwork looks like. This is what happens when you believe in each other. The coach handed out medal necklaces to every single team member, and a golden cup was presented to Maplewood, a symbol of their hard work and perseverance. Carter, smiling through tears, hugged Ryan. Thanks for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. Ryan smiled back, knowing that this wasn't just about the medals, it was about the strength of unity, overcoming self doubts, and working as a team. As the sun began to set, the students of Maplewood Elementary walked home together, their hearts full of pride. They had not only conquered the track, but they had conquered their own challenges and learned the true meaning of teamwork. And Ryan, well, he had learned that you don't have to be the fastest to win. Sometimes all it takes is the courage to believe in yourself and your friends. Hi, guys. Thank you for watching so far, and welcome to the last chapter. This one is called Ryan's Ultimate Spongeball Showdown. Let's get into it. It was a sunny afternoon at Maplewood Elementary, and the excitement in the air was palpable. The school's track and field day was in full swing, but this time there was a new twist to the usual sports events. In an effort to spice things up, Mr. Clark, the gym teacher, had introduced a brand new sport, one none of the kids had ever heard of before. The official school announcement had made it clear: welcome to the first ever Spongeball Showdown. Ryan looked at Zara, completely confused. Spongeball? Was that supposed to be? Zara shrugged, equally baffled. I think it's like dodgeball, but with soft sponge balls. I have no idea, but it sounds like fun. Ryan couldn't help but feel both curious and slightly nervous. There was no way this could go smoothly. Sponge balls? It sounded like something from a dream, not a competitive sport. Now, when the students entered the gym, they were greeted by an unexpected sight. The gymnasium floor was divided into two sections, and in the middle was a huge pile of giant sponge balls, the kind you use to clean your car or soak up a pill. The rules, however, were still a mystery. Mr. Clark clapped his hands, getting the attention of the students. All right, team, you've all been waiting for this. Here's the twist. Spongeball is a team-based sport, where your goal is to knock out the other team by throwing the soft sponge balls at them. But here's the catch. You can't just throw them. You have to bounce the balls off walls and obstacles to hit your target. Ryan's eyes widened. Bounce them? Is that even possible? How are we supposed to aim these things? Mr. Clark grinned. That's the challenge. It's a combination of strategy, skill, and teamwork. We'll see who can work together and master the art of the sponge ball bounce. The other kids began scrambling for their teams. Zara immediately partnered up with Jayden, while Ryan, feeling hesitant, found himself grouped with the class clowns, Max and Ellie, who had a reputation for causing chaos in every event. Looks like we're in for a fun ride, Ryan, Max joked, throwing a sponge ball at Ellie, who nearly knocked down over a chair trying to dodge it. The game began, and immediately things were out of control. Max threw a sponge ball so wildly that it hit Mr. Clark in the face, and the entire class erupted into laughter. The ball then bounced off the wall, rotating into the air like a wild animal, hitting Zara in the back. Ryan could barely focus with the chaos going on around him. Sponge balls flew in every direction, hitting walls, desks, and sometimes even the students themselves. Ryan wasn't sure what to do. He had never been good at aiming and definitely didn't know how to bounce the balls off walls. Just throw it, Ryan, Max yelled, grinning. Sponge balls can't hurt anyone, right? Ryan hesitated for a second, then hurled the sponge ball. It bounced, sort of, toward the other team. Ellie, who was supposed to be on Ryan's team, accidentally threw her sponge ball at him. Nice throw, Ellie, Ryan said sarcastically, rubbing his shoulder. Ellie shrugged. Well, at least you're learning how to dodge. As the game continued, something unexpected happened. The other team, led by Zara, was clearly taking the game much more seriously. They had formed a strategy and had begun bouncing the sponge balls in precise, calculated angles to hit their targets. Suddenly, Ryan realized something. The sponge balls didn't bounce off the walls, they could also bounce off the ceiling. It was like playing a crazy warped version of pinball. But just as Ryan was about to figure out his next move, he noticed something odd. Ellie and Max were noticing something too. There was a special sponge ball that had a weird glow in the dark design. It seemed to have magical powers, bouncing higher and faster than any other ball in the gym. Is that ball different? Ryan asked, pointing at the mysterious glowing sponge ball. Ellie looked over. I think it's an ultimate ball for the final round. Max, always a troublemaker, laughed. Let's grab it. I bet it's the key to winning. Ryan didn't want to get involved in what felt like another one of Max's wild schemes, but before he could stop them, Max and Ellie grabbed the ball and started bouncing it toward their opponents, Zara and Jayden, like it was the ultimate weapon. With the glowing sponge ball in play, things went from chaotic to absolutely absurd. Max bounced it off a wall, but it hit the ceiling and then ricocheted off the gym door, coming down so fast it hit Ryan right in the face. Ow! Ryan yelped, rubbing his cheek, but the crowd was rolling with laughter. Nice catch, Ryan, Max laughed, as the game quickly turned into a giant mess of bouncing balls, wild throws, and unexpected hits. The other team had no idea what was going on. Even the teacher was struggling to keep up. Finally, after a few more ridiculous bounces, Ryan found his moment. He grabbed the glowing sponge ball, lined it up carefully, and bounced it off the ceiling. It hit the target straight in the middle of the other team's fort, knocking them out and giving his team the win. Everyone cheered, but the celebration was more about the ridiculous fun they'd had than the actual victory. As the class gathered around to shake hands, Ryan couldn't stop laughing. Well, that was a disaster, but a fun one. Max grinned. See, I told you, Ryan. Sometimes the chaos is the best part of the game. Zara walked up, giving Ryan a high five. You did great, Ryan. And hey, we managed to make it through without anyone getting hurt. Ryan smiled, feeling proud of himself. Even if he didn't know what was happening half the time, he was glad to be a part of it. Sometimes it wasn't about winning, it was about laughing together, trying something new, and making memories. Well, I guess I'm the SpongeBob king now, Ryan said, laughing along with his friends. Alright, thank you all for listening so far. We hope you have enjoyed these wonderful stories and we hope to bring you so much more. If you enjoyed any of these stories, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and please subscribe so we can keep bringing you more of these awesome stories. And don't forget where it all started from. The books. The Adventures of Little Ryan book series are now selling on Amazon. Click the link in the bio of this page or in the video description below to purchase, and we will see you next time on The Adventures of Little Ryan.